Yeah, I mean, it comes to a point. I think if I was gonna sign Blame, I'm just so used to seeing this from James Harden. I guess I'm. It's not. It's not fair to say he gets a pass. You don't get a pass for not playing well. Like you don't get a pass for that. But it's like this is what we've come to expect from him, right? I'm really looking at the coach, man. I mean, to just watch that lead steadily dwindle, steadily falling, and you call no timeouts, you make no adjustments. Like, why is James Harden guarding Jalen Brunson? Why is that happening? That just doesn't make sense. He's probably one of the worst perimeter defenders in the NBA, and you've got him guarding the other team's star player. I don't care if he's
With no
in. I
help.
don't.
No
You
help at
feel me?
all.
No help, no shade coming, no doubles coming. None of that's happening. It's just like, why is this the matchup that we went with? Um, and then Donovan Mitchell, I mean, he had like, what, I think like 26 in the first half or something like that, 27 in the first half. Third quarter comes, he's quiet. Or I mean, excuse me,
Disappears.
he had 26 or 27 through three quarters, and then in the fourth, I think he only got like one shot up. So I don't know. Like I said, I didn't sit and watch the whole game to really be able to give like a full perspective on it. But I mean, I guess it's just kind of Cleveland doing Cleveland things, Cleveland without LeBron doing Cleveland things,
Well,
and yeah, man. I mean, it got nasty. It got real nasty real quick.
I mean,
I
I feel like it was rust on New York's part too, being that off early on. But
I could
once they
agree
got
with
locked
that.
in, it was a wrap.
Yeah, and we saw evidence of that in game two. I mean, game two was just wire to wire. BTA. Josh Hart comes out, hits a bunch of threes. Jalen Brunson didn't have the greatest shooting night, but he showed that he can distribute the ball better than maybe he's given credit for. Cat was he put in some work. I think he had like 18, 20 points, something like that. But it was really Josh Hart was the story, and this is where we see, the whole analytic thing. I mean, from what I saw, the clips I saw, they were leaving him. I'm talking about butt naked,
Wide
wide
open.
open, no closeout, nothing, just
Nothing. Which I
practice
mean, I get
shots.
playing the percentages. Like he's not a good shooter, but you still want to at least get a hand up, like
You know
just
what
so
I'm
don't
saying? At
just
least
give it to
run a
him.
guy at him. Like, I mean, you can't just give up practice shots. And it's just this is where I mean, I get why people use analytics. I understand that there's something to be said for them. But when teams or organizations just go complete, like we're just gonna do it by the numbers totally, and we're not gonna have like I mean, maybe a guy's just having a day. Maybe he doesn't shoot well, but maybe today he is. You have to adjust in game, like, and that comes back to coaching. It
Yeah,
comes back to
I think it's just
coaching.
different because like in the regular season, you can hit a bunch of threes, rely on analytics just to like manufacture some wins, but in the playoffs, when people start scheming and people really get locked in, it's just a whole different type of time to be on.
Exactly, exactly, man. So Cleveland puts itself in a position where I saw a clip of Donovan Mitchell saying, we just got to look at it like we got to protect home court. They protect the home court. We got to win at home. Of course, the old saying is it's not really a series until somebody wins on the road. We've seen evidence of that being true. Um, we've seen Cleveland go down and go to game sevens in all their series so far, right? So, I mean, it's not like they're new to this at all as far as playing from behind. But I don't know. I just think they're just overmatched. I think, especially when you're getting this James Harden throughout, that he hasn't even given them, a
Yeah,
decent game so far. It's just, I
yeah.
mean, Donovan Mitchell's back in the same situation he was in Utah. He's the only guy out here that can really get a bucket for himself. I mean, you got a guy like Jared Allen. He's not really finna score. Evan Mobley,
Soft as baby shit.
man, Jared Allen's a really nice guy. You can tell by everything he does. He's a really nice guy. Like he doesn't do anything with tenacity. Even when he does get a block or a dunk, it's very much so like, oh, excuse me, let me dunk this ball real quick. It's just like he's super nice, like, and that's fine. That's great as a human being, cool. On that court, you gotta have some type of dog in you, bro. I don't care if it's a poodle. You gotta have some kind of dog in you. He just doesn't have it. And one thing about that New York team, they are like a gritty team. They do play with like a
Yeah,
ferocity and a nastiness to them in a way. And I think that's just that's where they're really showing Cleveland up at more than anything else, more so than anything else that I've seen. They just got more dog in them, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know, the old heads love to hear that, but it's just the truth in this situation. Like they got way more dog in them.
It's a
Cleveland's kind of
classic New York
looking like.
team. It's a classic New York team.
Definitely. It brings you back to those things from the 90s. Brings you back to that era of ball. A lot of defense, a lot of getting to the rim, not really relying on the three ball, a lot of transition. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking sweep. I ain't gonna lie. I think they're gonna go ahead and get this done
Gentlemen
at
sleep at the
four.
most. They
Gentlemen
might
sleep at the
go. They
most
might
for
get one at
sure.
home, but it's not going
Right,
past
right.
five.
Yeah, they might just have the crowd into it at home. Cleveland might just have the crowd into it at home and be able to muster up one victory. But from what I'm saying, that's pretty much cooked, man. But what is definitely not cooked is the other side of the bracket, man.
That's a fact.
OKC protects home court, wins game two. Shea does Shea things. He had like 32 and 8, something like that. They had a way better handle on Wimby. I don't know
There's a lot
what
of
his
jail ball on
numbers
Wemby, if we're being
were.
honest, but
Yeah, we got to get into it, man. I mean, we're seeing the memes and the clips going crazy viral. They're just out there really just roughing Wimby up, man. It's
tackling him,
again, it's
grabbing
90s
him.
ball. It's 90s ball out there. They're playing jailhouse ball out there, man. And you know the refs are letting it go. The refs are definitely letting them play extremely physical when it comes to Wimby. So if that's gonna continue, OKC. I don't know, man. I'm still got the Spurs in seven. I said we won seven from the
I
jump.
think. I mean, we know the playoffs makes people. It exposes of what they need to work on,
Hmm.
and I think the difference between game one and game two is again roughing Wemby up, not letting him get those rolls to the basket, not letting him get into the dunker spot.
Hmm.
And I know Wemby can spot up. I mean, we saw him hit that 30 foot or whatever, but I think if he really wants to go to the next level, he has to be more like Dirk and be able to work out the post with a jumper.
Yeah,
Because
work
I
out
don't
from
ever
the
see him
elbow.
getting, I don't ever see him getting strong enough to like bully people consistently.
Right.
And like someone like Hartenstein has too much weight for him to just
Hmm.
be big down there. So I think it has to be a
Hey,
finesse,
yo.
but
Nah.
a controlled finesse like Dirk used to do. I think Dirk needs to be his blueprint, not Hakeem, not KD. It needs to be Dirk.
I could agree with that, man. I could agree with that. Now that's talk about going towards the future. When you talk about that, that's something you have to work on in the summer. What do you see they can do right now? What are the adjustments that need to be made right now?
Fox needs to come back because
I hear that.
the guard play. I like what Harper's doing. I like what Castle's doing, but it's too haphazard. Like it's not under control. Too many turnovers.
Castle
Too
has
many poor
20
decisions.
turnovers through 2 games. That is
That can't happen. That
outrageous.
can't happen.
Like that's
And so if
just
Fox don't come back,
outrageous.
I don't see him pulling it out. But maybe I'm
Yeah, I
overreacting.
mean,
But
they're definitely hurting. They're definitely missing Fox right now. Dylan Harper went down with a hammy. That's not good. That could be actually be terrible. I mean, he was my X factor for them as far as being that Shaq will say the other, being one of the others that they could really rely on to step up. Man, he had with like 6 games. I mean, 6 games, 6 steals in game one, 6 or 7 steals, something crazy like that. I mean, a guy that's just a gritty defender, somebody else you could throw at SGA to slow him down, but can also go get a bucket. Um, Without him and without Fox, now you got big problems. Now you got big problems because I mean, I don't see Wimby giving you another 40 and 20. I don't know about that happening.
nah, if they let him play like that, if they let him play like
Right,
they did the other night, then nah. But I
right.
mean, they're going back to San Antonio, so a little bit of home cooking might
Yeah, I think
help.
the whistle's gonna be different at home for sure for
Yeah.
San Antonio. But as far as the injury bug, it did also bite OKC. J Dub went down, which I don't
Yeah.
think is like of a major concern for them because he was out basically all year. I mean, they've got a lot of work in without him on court. I don't know how major it was. The last I heard reported on it, it was a day-to-day thing. So maybe this is just something they're doing to kind of keep San Antonio off balance and kind of keep them like not really knowing what to expect for Game Three because they don't know if J Dub's gonna play or not. Might just be something that their coach is doing, just kind of a chess move. But with no J Dub, if it goes that way and there's no J Dub and there's no Dylan Harper, I think San Antonio hurts worse. Um,
Yeah, I don't think I think if they all get healthy and Fox doesn't come back, I still think the Spurs lose. Like I I think Fox is the X factor, not the other dude, because like it's just too many
Really?
turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, you want to get Stephon Castle off ball. Like, you want to get him to be able to come off ball, cut back door, get to the rim, which he's done. He does a great job. He put Hardenstein on everybody's poster. It might be the dunk of the playoffs. Probably even contention for dunk for the year, but he's just turning that ball over too much, man. I mean, to have nearly 20 turnovers, I think it's 19, but basically 20 turnovers through 2 games is just completely out of control. And I think that's just he hasn't. I mean, De'Aaron
The
Fox did miss some
experience,
time during the year, but
but it's
like you said,
different.
yeah, it's completely different. It's playoff basketball where every possession counts. You just can't afford to give up that many possessions, especially to a team like OKC. That's what they live off of. That's how they really
Yeah.
eat is off forcing turnovers, getting off in transition. But we got to talk about it, man. They're calling him, I think, what was it, Flopperella? So am I saying that song on SGA? Like, he's out here hitting the ground. He's hitting the deck after pretty much every shot. He's flailing and flopping around. A lot of people are upset about the fact that he's getting the whistle. They don't see the whistle being fair at all. I mean, Wemby's getting absolutely obliterated. There's an elbow in his chest. There's a
I
shoulder
mean,
in his chest. He's getting pushed and pulled.
this is modern basketball. This is what the natural progression from D Wade starting it. He used to launch into people.
Hmm.
Harden taking it to the next level back in 2018, 2019, his MVP years, grabbing people,
Hmm.
hooking people.
Hmm.
This is the natural progression. I mean, this is all he knows. This is what he grew up watching, emulating. Why be a scorer when you can take advantage of the rules and be an even better scorer? So, I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what people want.
Yeah, I can't disagree with the fact that he's following in the footsteps of a D Wade over James Harden for sure. I don't really. I guess because I haven't sat and watched a full game. I don't. I guess I don't. That's why I don't have such a problem with it. But it's just something. I think it's something to be said for you know the way that the league is going. Like because I mean, players talk about it all the time. People talk about it all the time. Playoff basketball is supposed to be a different thing than a regular season, right? So if that's true, I think refs just got to swallow their whistle to some extent. Pause. It's just like you got to let these guys come out there and win the game on the court. Not
I
saying
mean, he's
that
the MVP though.
OKC
Like
didn't.
the MVP is always going to get an exception. Like it just
Yeah,
is
I
what it is.
mean that's true. That's been true all throughout the NBA. The top guys get a different whistle than everybody. But isn't Wemby not a top guy? Like, are we not? Are we treating? And
But he's 8 feet tall. Like
there you
Shaq had that
go.
same problem. Shaq was a
There you
top guy,
go.
and they used to foul him every play.
It's true. I mean, the guys that are, of a more imposing physical stature definitely have a harder time getting a whistle. Even LeBron. I mean, LeBron, you could argue he should have another 5 to 6 thousand points off going to the line. All the times just hasn't gone to the line. So, I mean, I think there's something to be said for it either way. I think this one is gonna definitely still go 7, and I think unfortunately it's gonna come down to the injury bug, man. I think the injury bug's gonna have a really heavy weight on this series. It's unfortunate when it goes like that. I mean, you want to see the best. You want to see teams at their best. You want to see
That's
the
how it's
best
been though
guys
for
out
the
there
last
competing.
like 5, 6 years, really since KD back at Golden State when he went down.
Oh
Just a
yeah,
lot of people getting hurt.
we've seen it. We've seen injuries decide. We've seen injuries decide more series than not. Unfortunately, I mean we saw it just last year in the finals. If Halliburton doesn't go down, maybe it's
And he's
different.
looking bad, by the way. I don't know if you've seen his updates. I mean, obviously he hasn't been able to run a lot because of his injury,
Hmm.
but he's looking fat and happy. Like
I definitely seen him that he definitely put some weight on. I mean, it's like it's all in his face. Like it ain't no denying it. I mean, the same thing was said about Jason Tatum though. He put weight on. You know what I'm saying? He kind of put more like he didn't look like fat though. He just looked like he was just more bulky. Like he had just been
yeah.
in the gym working on his upper body. I mean, he was grabbing boards left and right. I don't think Halliburton's about to come out here and do that and become, a Josh Hart type guard that grabs a bunch of boards. But yeah, from what I've seen, just the few appearances he's made, he's definitely put on more than a few. Um, but I want to backtrack real quick, man. James Harden, right? Does he have to fall? I never thought. Did I ever think he was top five? I think it depends on if you call Iverson a shooting guard or a point guard. If he was ever top five. Um,
MJ, MJ, Kobe,
mhm,
D Wade,
mhm,
Jerry West.
mhm.
That's
That
four.
fifth spot. That fifth spot, man. I mean, you got
Honestly, you could put AI there. You could put
right.
Havlicek there if you want to go old, just old school.
I thought he was a three in the days.
Oh, there's a two.
I'm not sure. I'd have to fact check that. I was gonna say Clyde Drexler. I mean, you can't just leave Clyde Drexler out this mix.
The
Um,
point being, any discussion of him over D Wade has to stop. Like, it has to
completely,
stop.
completely. I don't think that ever should have been a discussion. I don't know how that even became a thing. I think that was just another thing about like the analytics of it all. I think that was nerd ball. You know what I'm saying? That kind of sparked that discussion, but I think that's got to be completely over with and done for. Um, my bad. Um, yeah, I think he's still safely in the top 10 just because of what he's done stylistically and what he's done hardware wise. I mean, he's got an MVP. It was a year he was averaging like 35. I think that's gonna get him in the top 10. But the top five stuff's out of here. It's the fuck out of here for me. Like I never was really hearing it, but it's definitely done,
I'd
in
have to
my
agree,
opinion.
man. Easy's. You've
It's
just seen it
just
happen too
on
many
that.
times.
Yeah, man. I mean, a guy that just disappears in the playoffs when that's when you're supposed to be playing your peak basketball for the year. It's just it can't go on, and it's not like he just underperforms. It's like he just completely falls off the
Falls off
face
a
of the
cliff.
earth. It's like it's like he's probably one of the. I'm sure he's one of the highest playoff droppers in the NBA history, like easily, easy
For sure.
call. And you can't do that and be top five. So there's absolutely no way. Now, man, this is where it gets interesting for me, man. I know you got topic three. I have no idea what it is, guys. So let's I'm gonna hand you the reins here, brother. Like, what are we talking about?
Well, for all those who want a little behind the scenes on the production value, we text each other throughout the week. Let us know what the topics are going to be, and I told my big bro it's going to be a doozy this time. So here it goes. I had a robust conversation with our parents, our lovely parents, and
Okay.
I told him I was an atheist.
Really? Is that right? Okay. We might go a little over, fellas. We might
We
go a
might
little
go a little
over.
over.
We might go a
For
little
those
bit
of you who
over.
don't know, again, we
How
grew
did
up in
they
the.
react? I gotta know this. What was
I'm
their
gonna,
reaction?
okay, so I'm not gonna lie, the chest, the heart was pumping. Like
Oh, I'm
it was
sure.
like
I'm sure.
For those who don't know, again, trying to give a little bit of lore here. We grew up in the black church. Our family is.
Deep in it. One of our grandmothers
I
is an ordained minister.
Okay, so there's definitely some Judeo-Christianity in this house, to say the least. And so I was a little antsy. I was a little, like I said, the heart was pumping. But to my surprise, it was one of the most healthy conversations I've ever had with our parents. Easily,
Really? I
easily.
would think. I mean, I know how mom is. So, our mother, for those who don't know, is the sweetest, kindest, most understanding, patient woman you ever want to meet. Not just saying that. I have a checkered past. I have a checkered history. I put her. Any gray hairs she has, I probably caused them. I probably put them there. So I could see mom being like completely understanding. I could see her, respecting your decision. I could see all that from mom, right? Now, Pop a different story. Pop, military, you know what I'm saying? Pop is probably at choir rehearsal right now. Pop is like he's one of those guys. One of our Pop's favorite sayings is I'm still on 8-track tape. Like he's stuck in his ways in a lot of ways, and he's okay with being stuck in his ways in a lot of ways. So for him to be ready to receive this type of dialogue, I
It was
gotta
one of
say
the
I'm a little
most,
proud of him. That's showing growth. That's
bro.
showing growth from
It
Pop.
was one of the most healthy, as an adult, the most healthy conversation I've had easily with my parents. They were extremely tolerant. They let me explain myself. It wasn't a lot of interrupting or back and forth. It was healthy. They explain why they're Christians. I explain why I'm a non-believer. And my whole thing on this. I'm not here to uh, talk down anyone's religion. I'm not here to say I'm a better person because I'm an atheist. Because a lot
Of
of
course not.
horrible people have been atheists throughout the world, just like a lot of horrible people have been believers throughout the world. So
True enough.
my whole thing is I'm a rational, evidence-based person, and also I'm a very I like to research stuff. I can be
Right.
studious, and
Right.
so the first thing I did, like I've been skeptical since I was a kid, like since like elementary school. I've been skeptical. Like as long as I've been in school, I've been skeptical. As when I started learning about the universe and history and whatnot.
And
But
that's
doing
super interesting.
research,
Not to cut you off, but that's super interesting to give a little more background. My brother did attend a Christian school up until what, middle school? You were at Grace until middle school, right?
nah, nah. I
I
was
know
in
it was at
public
least
elementary
like
school.
second, third grade.
Nah, I was in Penner and by kindergarten.
Really? I thought you were at
Yeah.
Grace when you were okay. Okay, that's on me. That's my bad.
Nah, so again, being evidence based, being rational. You know, you hear about these things in the Bible, and a lot of wild stuff in that book. A lot of wild stuff in all the religious texts, and so I decided to do research on the church, the research of Christianity. Really, honestly, it started again elementary school, middle school, reading about mythology.
Right.
Mythology first piqued my interest because I'm like, okay, I'm reading about Zeus. I'm reading about Poseidon, Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology. We'll get back to Egyptian mythology in a minute. Roman mythology. All these stories that people are agreed upon are fake.
Right.
Okay. I start reading Egyptian mythology and I come across the Book of the Dead. And in the Book of the Dead, there's 40 commandments. First red flag. I'm like, 40 commandments? What is, I know the 10 commandments. What are these 40 commandments? Then you do your research in the Bible. Moses, supposedly, the father of all these Abrahamic religions, because Judaism came first, then Christianity, then Islam.
Right.
Moses was in the Egyptian court. And as the story
Yeah.
goes, he went up to the mountain and came down with 10 commandments. Well, if he was in the Egyptian court and the Egyptians had 40 commandments, he just jacked their shit. Like that's clearly what happened. And I mean, long story short, I don't know if we ever made this clear. We're African Americans, and if you know the history
Right.
of
If y'all
how
don't know,
religion
you
was
can't
introduced
tell.
to our, yeah, I don't know if we might have jumped the shark on that, but if you know anything about how religion was introduced to African descendant people, it was very violent. Like it was not it was not a, it was not a come to Jesus moment. It was a come to the lash moment, and here's Jesus, by
Right.
the way. And so, learning about Egyptian history, learning about Black history, I just became more and more skeptical that any of this was real. So, and then learning about
Yeah.
science and evolution and how old the universe is. It's like, okay, let's put the Bible to the side, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, I've considered myself more spiritual than religious for at least a cool decade now. I mean, I just, I remember our own grandmother, Mima, she told me when I was like 11, she was like, church ain't about God, church ain't been about God in a long time. So that stuck with me because
Oh
she,
yeah,
as
church is
I
a
said
show.
earlier, is an
Let me say
ordained
that too.
minister.
Church is a show. Church
Yeah,
is
it's that's exactly what it is.
church is a
And
performance.
and that kind of pushed me away from believing in religion. Like, do I believe that there's an all-powerful being above everything that created everything else? I do. I believe that. I believe that there now.
See, that's where
How
you lose
far
me.
that goes, you know what I'm saying? As far as like the right way to go about connecting with that, I couldn't say, whether any walk is the right walk. That's why I'm just spiritual. I just believe that there is a greater being beyond all of us, beyond any of our comprehension. Um, am I am I gonna sit here and say that I'm shocked that my brother's telling me this? A bit of shock. But I'm not like on a scale of one to
Really?
10, I'm probably at like a 4. I'm not like, oh my God, I can't believe nah, because you have always been, what I'm saying, very well read, very studious, very much, and you're very much a person that has always been into science and history. So for you to come to this conclusion, I'm not shocked at all. I can't say I'm not shocked at all, but I'm not like overly shocked or amazed. Like I can't believe da da da. Like why would you say this? Nah, I mean, I think that, now was I expecting this to be the doozy? No, not at all. I wasn't expecting this. I can say that. I can
But
say
bro,
that.
like again, the conversation with our parents, bro. Like, first of all, the way they look at religion like blew me because I thought they were like die in the wool, like true believers, and like a lot of it, from what they told me, is based off tradition
I
and
was
what
about
they
to
grew
say,
up
yeah,
in.
yeah, it's exactly that. This is what they were
Like, it's
taught.
not about being like our ways, it's our way or the highway. Like, it was nothing like that. In fact, Dad told me that both our grandfathers didn't go to church. So
Mm-hmm.
that shit blew me. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm. No, I knew that. I
And
knew.
so
I knew. Mom's dad didn't go to church. I knew he didn't care much for it. I
yeah,
didn't know that
Dad said
about
his dad was
Grandpa
always
Weir.
like our grandfather. Dad said his dad was always like, them preachers need to go to work. Like they don't do no work. Like we do all this work and they just be in the church all the time. So he just
Mm-hmm.
stayed home on Sunday. But that being said, you couldn't be disrespectful and just like not go. Like the dad didn't go, but his mom went. The kids went with the mother. So
Right.
again, a lot of this is tradition. A lot of this is um, how it got introduced to us and how it got disseminated. But the key thing is to be tolerant, to be understanding, and to not just be obnoxious about it. Like I'm not one of the like some of those kids. Like when I was in high school, if they were like the edgy kids, like they would go to like the library and they would put the Bible in the fiction section. I thought they were like proving a point.
Oh
Like
yeah. They were like,
and like
yeah.
that's just weird. And like again, you have anti-Semitism, you have Islamophobia, you have a lot of stuff that's just
Mm-hmm.
it gets sectarian. And again, being an atheist doesn't make me a good person. Being religious doesn't make someone a bad person. Like
Right.
your deeds, your actions make you a good or a bad person.
Exactly. Exactly, man. So I mean, I'll wrap it with this. I guess when did you come to this, realization about yourself, or when did you, full fledged go like, okay, no, this is what this is, because, and for people that are probably a little lost on the subject, explain a little bit the difference between being like, say, agnostic and being an atheist.
The way I understand it is you have spiritual people and then you have atheists and agnostic, and they would be under the same umbrella. And so where we're at with it is disbelief. There is no
Mm-hmm.
evidence of God, there is no proof. And so in theory, an atheist would be the easiest person to convert. All you have to do is provide me with evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Hard, provable, repeatable scientific evidence. Not
Mm-hmm.
scripture, not hearsay, not so-called miracles. I need carbon dating. I need peer reviewed. I need a whole everything that has to do with the scientific method has to meet that level of evidence to tell me that God is a thing. But with that, the
Okay.
whole notion, like you said, of the spiritual route, like an all-knowing, all-seeing, all-hearing deity, atheists don't go that route either, because again, it all becomes back to science, evidence, proof. I, so basically, I started out to say the first thing I said is I'm a rational evidence-based person.
Right.
So I don't need there to be an all-knowing, all-seeing, all-hearing. I don't need that. Just give me some evidence and let's be rational about whatever situation we're in. And what happens in the afterlife, or who's the so-called chosen people? Like, oh, okay, I just don't need that personally. And so that's where the skepticism comes in. But after that, being skeptical was the first piece. The second piece for me was being historical with it, because everything has a past, everything has a history. So once I
Indeed.
went into the understanding of the history of how the church came to be, which I can go into that if you want me to, but it became more clear to me, like, okay, like this is a setup. Like this isn't this is just a way to control a lot of people, because that's how the church came to be.
Yeah. I think we could save that for another pod,
Sure,
for another
sure, because
episode.
it's a really dope story. I wouldn't want to rush it anyway,
Yeah, for sure. I don't want it
or
to
a
be.
dope
It's
history, I
not
should
something that
say.
I want to rush. Yeah, man. Well, there we have it. You learn something new every day, even about someone that you know their whole life. So that is dope, bro. Always a good talk, brother. Man, this is a brother's perspective. I am David Ware. I'm here with my brother Brian Ware,
Yo,
and yeah, and y'all be ready for the next one, man. Who knows? Who knows where the conversation will go? Peace.
peace. And that is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen.